hard, man. Real
Somebody
hard.
tell me, I would like to know this. Why so much war going on in the Middle East? They kill from Christian right back down to peace. Say I don't think that war will ever cease. Oh Lord, there is something I just can't understand. Why the great leaders Saddam had to get hung? Instead of buying all of these weapons, why not take the money and feed hungry nations? Cause every day another brother, another sister, another mother balling. 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 I say the time now is getting serious. And believe me, man, yes, I'm curious. The older folks saying that we full of cuss. And it's like somebody passed a hand on us. I know, but the thing that is driving me insane is not really the youths and them to blame. I say I'm blaming the law and those who in power. That's why the crime rate increasing. Cause every day another brother, another sister, another mother balling. Another brother, another sister, another mother balling. Another brother, another sister, another mother balling. Another brother, another sister, another mother balling.
Every day, cost of living keep on rising. So could someone try and tell me what is happening? Because yet, them politicians keep preaching for the poor ones they are fighting, but not such a thing. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor ones back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the poor ones back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Well, if this is in the interest of the poor ones, I would not like to see it in the interest of the rich ones. Because they is the one I see keep on owning, while the poor ones keep on grunting, suffering and dying. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor ones back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the poor ones back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. While some men only sit down weeping, laughing and believing. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor one's back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the poor one's back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Most time I just vex, cause I know I see what's happening. And yet still man, some of my people just behind them as dogs begging. They cannot see how those vampire society keep on sucking we just because of money. Because every day when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor one's back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor one's back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. But I do know the time will come when you of yourself will recognize what I am doing towards the poor ones. So could someone try and tell me what is happening? Because yet them politicians keep preaching for the poor ones they are fighting, but not such a thing. Because every day when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor ones back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the poor one's back. And the wages, like it's missing men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. them down. Because we have to work so hard towards something, while some men only sit down repeating, laughing and believing. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the 4-1 spot. And the wages, like it's basement that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day, when I make a pass by the shop, I can see the price keep going up on the 4-1 spot. And the wages, like it's basement that believe.
There we go. My babe. Roots man, you do have nothing to sing about in 2023, cause you see that nothing ain't happening right now in the country. All the melee done, the confusion done, the government ain't doing no wrong. You won't get the opportunity to try the NDC down. You have to wait for something to happen to compose a calypso hit, because I could write a song about nothing. The people go still love it, cause I am the kind of composer who could put lyrics together. Not only about Dick and Kit, I could take nothing and make sweet music. Like when they keep jumping the money and they take back poor people 150, you tell me, why not? Why not? So not because Dr. Mitchell and Delma find themselves in a bitter dilemma. Why not? Why not? And if the PM run out from in finance and he live Cornwall in a monkey banks, die nothing.
And there's nothing. Good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 9 minutes after you're over 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
So I hope you and digging nothing
The 26th day of July 2023. Quite a lot happened today. I listened to the Parliament sitting today. I listened to Honorable Ron Redhead today on GBN. Yeah, I got some statements to make in relation to both of them.
Go out them judges just thief you. Why the hell you went? Go abroad. Get away from the shade of violence. From St. Vincent to Trinidad. Woman, you cannot tell me to shut up.
But in the interim, we'll leave the phone lines open. 440-7377. So that's 440-7377. 440-7377. A good night to all the listeners joining us via the various mediums. Those of you joining us via Sister Isle FM. Yeah, I know you all are listening there, 92.9. Those of you in Brooklyn listening via 94.9 FM. Those of you on YouTube, I'm going to do the roll call in a little while. And those of you on Talking Points Facebook page, yeah, let me do the roll call on the Talking Points Facebook page first of all. Huh? Good night to you, Maudlin, Junior George, Shemaine, Ragbasing, Esther Murray, no, McBain. Yeah, Red Girl Pascal, London, Jane, always the London, they Ollie, winding down the place. Earl, good night to you, Earl Benjamin. And let me see who else is there. Walland, good night to you, Amanda Charles. Good night, Ingrid. And Kenrick, I haven't heard from you for quite a while, bro. I mean, yeah, I'm in town, but I haven't been seeing you, man. So what's up, bro? Yeah, Sharon Felix, Donis Paris, Teresa Gill, good night. Tati, good night to you. and Denise Fabrio, Linda George, Bernadette Joseph, good night to you. Let me see who else is there. Yolanda Maureen, Natalie Charles, Laslyn Douglas, Linda Imelda Francois. It's been a while since I've called out that entirely. Linda Imelda Francois, good night to you. Nasha Belfon, good night. And all of you joining us, I have to refresh because I know there are a lot more of you there, but I have to refresh to get all the names. And let me see on YouTube. Let me go. Maria Noel, Lisha Abraham, Deborah LeBeau, Gavin Thomas, Norma Ray, Michelle Alexander, good night to you all. Kathleen Ledlow, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Alan Jones, good night to you, and good night to Zoe. Zoe, good night to you. yeah, special good night to Zoe. Alban Harris, Miriam, Baby Daddy, Adrian Watts, good night to you. And the wife, tell her I said hello, man. I know she's listening, so she's hearing. But still, even though she's listening, you tell her good night for me. Marlon Panchu, Dominic, good night to you. Dominic Leroy, Roland Batiste, Clive Raymond, Jerome Lewis, Sherma Jeremiah, good night to you. And let me say a special good night to you, Zela. I know what, Zela. Good night, Zela. I hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Matthew Bowen, Faith Lynn Holly Douglas, good night to you. And Andrew, Sandra Pascal, good night to you. And Xavier, Faith Lynn Holly Douglas, good life. Carl Jones, good night to you, bro. Janice Mitchell, Janice Lalji, Vanessa Lalji and Janice Mitchell. You see, I'm mixing up the whole thing. You see two of them? Yeah. That speed reading thing does tie you up sometime. Right. Gemma Warwood, Kathleen Knights, Beavis John, Errol Bonaparte, Jenna Benjamin, Cindy Thomas, Sky, Phyllis Mitchell, Fitzroy, Philip, good night to you, Jacinta Livingston, Elsie Peters, Christine Otley, Jacinta Alves, April Fletcher, Angie, good night. Hermina Batiste, Amanda Moses, good night to you. Maria Marcel, Anastasia Peterson, Christine, no, I mentioned Christine Otley, but take it again. Christine Otley, Eliza Bernard, Dominic Antoine, that's the other Dominic, right? Yes, more than one Dominic. Magdalene Henry, Rhonda, good night to you. Joycelyn Francois, Maud Martin, Mayana Julian, Hilary Grenard, Stephen Simon, Kezzy Jack, Cindy Thomas, good night to you, Gloria Emmons, and your entire home circle. Good night to you all. Cindy Thomas, Veronica Lewis, Oswald Belfon, Anastasia Peterson, Agnes Henry, Daisy Andrew. Why does this thing just... Yeah, right. Carib Spice, Sky, Samuel John, Henry Chaiton, Goddess Bella, Daisy Andrew. I think I mentioned it before. Fat Man George. Yay! Lyndon, good night to you, bro. Stephanie John, Dave Felix, Jen, good night. Marilyn Ferguson, Kathlina Richards, and Philip Andrew, saying a special good night to all of you. Joycelyn, what you're multitasking, you're listening to us tonight, and you're also listening to the PNM meeting. Yes, I know that in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, folks, they have their internal elections. No, not the general elections. They have the what they call it, not the general elections. They have the local government elections, LGE, local government elections. They have that going on in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago right now. I mean, the actual elections ain't taking place right now, but they have the pre-elections, so you're campaigning and everything right now. So my good friend Joyce, she's down there in Trinidad. She's listening to what's going on with that in Trinidad right now. 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside and listen to tonight's program. And I want to play something for you all in a little while. It's a little bit kind of longish and thing. But I think and I believe that it is important for me to play for you what was said today in one of those public engagements. Yeah? So I'm going to play that for you in a little while. I'm just pulling it up here to make sure I have everything organized properly. So I'm going to play that for you in a short while. You know what? I want to hear what the Honorable Ron Redhead. Now, on this program, I have been calling on him to speak on the issue of crime and what is taking place and all of that. It's a bit long, but I think it's important for us to play and for you to hear what it is he had to say in relation to this important issue. So I'm going to play that right now for you, and then we will come right back with the discussion right after in relation to what he said with what is taking place with crime in Grenada right now. And you know, a lot of folks sometimes say, Sheldon, I'm interested in hearing what these guys saying. No, it's important to listen. It's important to listen to what they're saying. It's important because you will understand the direction that they're heading. But before we go to that, let's take this call on the overseas line. Good night. Good night, caller. You're live. Hello. Hi, good night. Okay, we're not hearing anyone responding there. So let's go to this, and then let me see if I take 2 minutes to see if that individual would be willing to call back. So I think it's important for you all to listen to what he had to say. Someone is asking what's going on with Facebook. I'm not sure. Facebook has been giving some problems in the last couple of weeks. So that's why I continue to say, go over to the YouTube and subscribe. I don't know what they're doing with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and the others, but we have been having some issues in regards to Facebook over the past few weeks. Sometimes, as you know, it would be playing for the first half hour and then it cuts off. Last night, for instance, we were cross-posting Dr. Mitchell's message to all the pages, and for some reason, while it posted to all the other pages, to the New National Party main page, it was not there. We had to do something on the back end and try to get it to play. So all of you, it is important, even though you are custom and you like the conversation on the Facebook, it is important for you to add the YouTube page and subscribe to the YouTube page. And it also has the added advantage that if you're on YouTube and you want to remain anonymous, in other words, you're working with the public service and you know that you're working with a group of spiteful people that are going to go and tell the supervisor or the minister, hey, I seeing so-and-so on Sheldon's program every night. Every time I sign in on Facebook, they do. When you go onto YouTube, unless you speak within the chat, the only person that will know that you're there and that you're on is me. For instance, I can tell you that both Junior George and Kem Jones are on as subscribers to Talking Points. Yeah? Junior George is a subscriber. That's, the whatever let's call it, the drive along, ride a horn, whatever call. Yeah, that guy. Right. He's a subscriber, as well as Kem Jones. He is subscribed to this page. I know that, right? And there are many others that are subscribed to the page. But I alone would know that information. Others would not be able to see it in the way that I can see it as the admin. All right? So if you want to go over to the YouTube, it's okay. They have the chat option there. You can chat there. Subscribe to the page. And what I want you all to do right now is also to like the page. And when you like the page, it's not going to show up that other people can see that you like the page and things like that when you're on YouTube. So go over to YouTube, because you know, over the past couple months, there have been people boasting, nobody's watching Talking Points. Nobody's watching Talking Points. But when you look at Talking Points on YouTube, you realize that by the end of our program, we have roughly close to 2,000, and generally by the end of the program, over 2,000 people that have viewed the program that we're watching, while they are focusing on Facebook. And they might have 1,000 people watching at one point in time or whatever it is. And then when they come over to YouTube, you realize they only have 100 and something people and so looking at their program. So, folks, remember to subscribe, like the YouTube page. I want to see 100 likes. I'm seeing 67 right now, right? Yeah, 68 now. So let me see 69, right? Let me see the likes go up to over 100. Yeah? All of you that are listening, go and like the YouTube page. Also, those of you on Facebook, like the Facebook page as well. As I've said, we've been having problems. There may be nights that we can't go on Facebook because we've been having problems with the Facebook page. Yeah, it's not, and let me explain, they haven't hacked us. It is not a problem locally. Facebook as an app is having a problem. So as such, you must have a backup in order to view the program. So like and subscribe to the YouTube page as well. All right. So as I said today, the Member of Parliament for St. George Northeast, the Honorable Ron Redhead, he was on the To The Point program this morning. And an interesting question was asked of him in relation to the crime situation in Grenada. And I want you all to listen carefully. Those of you locally, regionally, internationally, I want you to listen to what the Minister of Youth in Grenada had to say about the crime issue. And then we'll discuss it, what he has to say right after. So we're going to go to that now, and then we'll discuss right after. Let me just make sure I have everything queued here properly. Yeah, we're going to go to what he says now, and then we will discuss right. It's pretty long. It's about 7 minutes. So let's get into it right now.
If you listened, but last night we had the opposition leader had, of course, an interview in issues of crime,
yes, and
violence. The opposition also, of course, had released detailing statements how they to address the issue. Then we even have been, of course, sessions with young people on the island and so forth. In fact, we even heard. I have also heard the Honorable Andy Williams giving some praise to that. Tell me. What separated in the Ministry of Youth, to the Ministry of Youth, how you doing on this particular issue, right. And tell me about that.
Right. So we have since received 2 proposals since coming in to the ministry on potential programs as it relates to targeting and reducing youth crime and violence. We have reviewed programs that was submitted by Dr. Chaitan to the former administration. It was there for a long time on the shelves. Nothing was being done about it. So what we are trying to do is to come up with the best approach. Now, oftentimes, in order to tackle crime, you can't go announcing that you will do X, Y, and Z. Oftentimes, you have to be strategic in how you deal with it, because you want to intervene in a way that you do not make the criminals or the criminal-minded aware of how you are going to target it, so that they can either subvert or distract away from the interventions that are required. So what you need to do is to meet with the stakeholders. The second thing you need to do is to investigate where are the hot spots or trouble spots, and investigate and understand what is contributing to the crime. Because I do not necessarily share the view that we have an exponential increase in crime. So no, we do not. For example, sexual crimes are down from what it used to be.
Yes.
What we have is a situation where these peaks that occur, because I can tell you, since the days of the revolution, we have been having violent crime. The mighty revolution was not able to solve that in its 4.5 years. So let us be realistic about the approach that we should take. Should the government resort to the plan like Barbados, not report crime because it will be bad for tourism? We do not believe so. Should we also resort to the strategy by always talking about crime? So, for example, neighbor Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunately so, almost every day you can hear some criminal activity taking place, and that is headline. What we have to do is, in meeting with the stakeholders, is to come up with the best approach. And I can tell you, as it relates to the unfortunate act of taking one's life, suicides, yeah. Right? Reporting suicides in a manner which can then I wouldn't want to use the word inspire, but trigger a trend is something we have to be cognizant of. So how, from a journalistic standpoint, media standpoint, we manage that is going to be important. So crime in its entirety is not to say that it has happened and we must just start throwing our hands up in the air and screaming and running and holding press conference, and you don't need to create the hysteria. In order to deal with something and solve it, what you need to do is to sit. And I think the Prime Minister gave his address last week on the matter in relation to what we need to do for crime and what we are doing. So this is not a case that we are not doing anything. Take, for example, the crackdown on guns. The reason why we are seeing more guns and apprehending and getting more guns is not because just the fact that there are guns out on the street, but it's because there is now a system in place to actually target, to reduce. So when you report that you get guns, it's not to say that because more guns coming into the country, you just have a mechanism now of being able to get the guns before they reach into the communities, because it's imported. So that's the strategy. Also, Prime Minister spoke on the ability for our ports, which are so porous. They are very, very vulnerable. So almost anything could pass through or sneak through if you have the right connections, etc. in place. So having equipment that can scan the barrels, in addition to humans checking and so on the contents, is something that we need to invest in, because we need to get all the guns off the streets and in the hands of our young get it out of the hands of the young people. So it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And yes, we must take a collaborative approach, but in order to get that collaborative approach, it cannot be plucked from the sky. We need to engage stakeholders. We need to know what the situation is, so that the interventions that are required to target crime is going to be clinical and not just a knee-jerk reaction out of emotion. Because I can tell you, there was one headline once where a gentleman had an AK-47 and was shooting police. Crime was active then. There were other instances of other violent crimes that took place in the history of our country where there was a spate of killings against women. So there were periods in our history, and will always be, unfortunately so, irrespective of laws, irrespective of other systems that you put in place or policies. What we have to do is to work on programs to try to reduce the concept of criminal activities. So whether it is from the police standpoint, whether it is from the state standpoint, what they have to be targeting is not going and reacting, but to reduce it before it actually occurs. That is the problem.
I take your point, and I understand. But sometimes as citizens, we like to hear from government.
Yeah.
You understand? We want to hear that, well, we are dealing with the matter of some, even though the details are not given. As you say, you can't tell the folks what you're going to do. But sometimes folks would like to hear, we know what's happening, and we
so let me assure the public that as a government we are very concerned with the crime and violence situation in the country. We have always been concerned of it. This is why we are strongly of the view, for example, that we need to look into the criminal act. I just forgot the exact thing of it, but well, in terms of reviewing the laws and all these other things around crime and violence, it just slipped my mind. But in other words, we are engaged in these discussions. You can rest assured, this government and administration, although we are young, we do not believe in hysteria. We do not believe in knee-jerk reactionary responses to events. What we have to do as a citizen, we are approaching 50 years. We need to ensure that we sit down and understand what is contributing to the violent crime. And then we can put specific measures to be able to tackle it. So collaboration is required, but that is only one aspect of what we need. We need the information. And there are professional people who can help. They need to be in a position to do their work. The institutions need to work, etc. So that's how we're going to approach it.
All right. Melissa, I want to get a bit into your...
All right, let's get into that one. Now, it is clear to anybody with any ounce of sense that the minister talking a whole pile of nonsense. He has no clue. If he was on, what they call it again, with Vanna White and them, somebody would have had to buy him a vowel. Yeah? Or one of those game shows, somebody would have had to spend something and buy him a clue. Because it's obvious that the minister is clueless when it comes to this issue. Yeah? So, he's saying that the ministry, the ministry cannot announce, government cannot announce what is being done. Absolute unequivocal nonsense. I'm calling the minister out on this. Minister Ron Redhead, whatever other names it does carry. You're talking stupidness. Yeah? Right. There are children listening to this program, so I try to be careful with the language that we use. But you're talking stupidness. All right? Yeah, I think that one is okay and safe for the kids. Right. You're talking stupidness. Because the general population, there is a general sense of fear among the general population in relation to the issue of crime and violence. There is an issue. The people of Grenada feel unsafe. So for you to simply say, we ain't talking about it because we don't want to inform the criminals of what we're doing. Minister, if you don't know what you're doing, resign, go home and sit down or something. Go and, go and sit down by the bay and throw a line or something, a pan line, and catch some sprat or I don't know. Find something else to do. But when it comes to the security of Grenada, security of Grenadians, security of visitors to Grenada, it is an important issue. And we expect the people that are making statements in relation to that to understand what they're speaking about, or to seek to understand what they're speaking about, and to ensure that when they make statements, it redounds to people who are out there in the Grenadian public right now feeling safer. People feeling okay. And not a situation where people wondering, but oh gosh, that's who I vote for, boy. That the kind of people that representing me. I mean, you go back to situations with individual with AK-47. Why didn't go back to the situation where somebody drop a bucket with heads in the police station in Grenville? Yeah, we could go as far back as that. Yes, there has been crime in Grenada before. There will be crime in Grenada in the future. Yeah, we understand that. We are saying that at this time, right now in the state of Grenada, between January 2023 and July 2023, that our crime situation, when we look at the figures for 2022, when we look at the figures for 2021, when we look at the figures for 2020, that we are seeing a significant increase in the amount of crimes that are taking place within our country. If you want to categorize it and just pull out that sexual crimes have decreased between last year and this year, that's one category of crimes. But when you're speaking of violent crimes in the sense of maiming, of the chopping incidents, when you're speaking of crimes in relation to the volumes of firearms, illegal firearms, that have been found within the state of Grenada between January and now, when you speak of things as in murders, if last year, for the same period, you had 3, and within this year you have 14, it means that you have a more than significant increase in the number of murders. There must be causative factors behind those things. And as such, as a ministry, you can't damn well sit down there and tell the taxpayers of this country who paying you on a monthly basis that, well, not even monthly now because you're getting paid bi-weekly, so you're getting your money every fortnight. You can't sit down there and tell us that you can't tell us what you're doing because you're afraid the criminals know you're dunce. It's obvious you don't know what you're talking about. Because part of the issue is that, okay, we understand that there are certain aspects of a crime strategy that cannot be relayed to the general public. For instance, if you are having, you're going to be doing searches and so on, you're going to be searches in different areas. You wouldn't tell some fellas that you're searching on Maurice Bishop Highway tonight at 9. You wouldn't do that. Because, obviously, if I know the police searching Maurice Bishop Highway at 9, I am not going to drive down there. The other night, I left the program I was going down. roadblock, police searching, left, right, center, searching all different vehicles. I don't know if they found some information about somebody that was looking for or something, but they were searching. All well and good. The police doing their work. So I can understand that. But as a general strategy, nothing stops you as the government from coming out and saying that we will be conducting searches, random searches. Because the general public then understands that the Royal Grenada Police Force, in conjunction with the Ministry of National Security, the government, is doing something to keep us safe. Yeah? You're not saying where you're doing the searches, but you say to the people, we are doing searches. So people understand. Yeah? In the same context, if you are going to be doing sessions with the young people to teach them how to interact with each other and so on, how does that become something that a criminal is going to use and say, well, I'm going to avoid that? What are they going to do? Tell the young people that you're dragging into the sessions, don't go to the sessions? In that sense, you're going to be saying, therefore, that we have organized crime in Grenada and that we have people that are controlling certain areas. And so, which is going to mean that we have a much bigger problem than probably we all know. It means, therefore, that you have people that are controlling sectors and controlling areas, controlling villages, that could tell people generally, don't go to the Ministry of Youth session, and they won't go. What the minister is saying is absolute convoluted nonsense. He is a dunce when it comes to this issue. In fact, it may have been better had he said, I defer to the Minister of National Security on this issue. Our ministry is working steadfastly in relation to the issue of crime and violence among young people, and we encourage all young people to do the right thing, to stop, think, listen, and then move forward before getting involved in any activities. I could tell him how to answer the question. But if he too dunce to know that for himself, I can't do anything about it. Somebody's calling on the overseas line. Let's take the call. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Hello?
Hi, good night, caller. You are live. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm calling from the overseas line.
Yes, go right ahead.
And I'm so sad. I just saw the Honorable Redhead spoke. That's a young man I like. I know his grandmother, I know his mother, I know a lot of his family. And did somebody give him a sheet to speak those stuff?
Probably artificial intelligence. We know they do it. I don't know. He probably pulled that one from ChatGPT.
I'm so sad. I looked and I got so sad for him. Because to me, sir, the man is confused. It's like he's going here, there, everywhere, and he's not dealing with the issue. Honorable Redhead, if you're listening to me,
He's listening because he listens
I am
nightly.
one of the elders. I know your grandmother. I wouldn't call her name. I know your mother. We all are close people. Sir, please deal with the issue. The world is looking at you, and they are so sad. Like myself, those who love you. I love you, sir. Please, call on somebody. I don't know what advisors the Prime Minister gave you. Get some other advisors. Please, sir, honorable sir, speak the truth. Do not go and say things you don't know. Do not read some script anyone gives you, sir. And, sir, have a blessed night. Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Keep on doing the work.
All right. Thank
but
you
I'm
very
so
much.
sad. This young man, I love him, but I'm so sad.
We love the sinner. We hate the sin. That's how they say it in the church. We love the sinner, but we hate the sin. Hello? Okay, you seem to have lost that caller. But yeah, we love the sinner and we hate the sin. So we love everybody, but we hate the nonsense. And what that individual spoke for close to 7 minutes, convoluted nonsense. Yeah? Yes, we understand the importance of secrecy into certain aspects of what you're doing. Yeah? So we understand if you're doing an investigation in relation to certain things that you don't come out and say, but nothing is wrong in making generalizations. So we are investigating. We are following up on leads. We are getting close to a conclusion. Yeah? Or we are implementing. But you see, they have no ideas, so they can't say we implementing. They're not doing any work, so they can't say we are working on. You can't hear those words from either the Prime Minister or now his Minister of Youth. You can't hear those because these two individuals don't know what they're doing. And we have said on several occasions, if you need help, ask. Ask. Dr. Mitchell would be willing to help, I see absolutely no calculation under which the National Democratic Congress government can call Dr. Keith Mitchell and ask for assistance in relation to this issue. And he would not be willing to offer his assistance on that. None. Knowing the individual that he is, understanding that Grenada comes first, I can see no calculation under which they could call asking for some advice and he would not give it to them. In fact, without even asking, last night, he gave a whole heap of advice to them. But to make a statement like, you can't announce because you're afraid of criminals. So come on. So you can't announce that, hey, we are invigorating the youth development program to engage young people in positive activities, including sports, culture, and other activities, religious activities, etc., so that they will not have time to become involved in negative activities. You can't say that because you're afraid the criminals hear that. Yeah? You can't say that the Ministry of Social Development is working with families that are targeting families that have the likelihood of members of those families becoming involved in crime due to their economic and socio-economic situation. No, you can't say that because you're afraid the criminals hear that. Yeah? You can't say that the Royal Grenada... You can't say that the Royal Grenada Police Force is doing what they need to do and have been provided with the equipment, training, and so that they need to have in order to deal with these issues. Or that they have already had the equipment and the training and that they are going to implement various activities to deal with these issues. No, you can't say that. You know why you can't say that? Because you don't care. You're too busy smoking Cuban cigars and drinking all kind of expensive liquor. You don't care about young people, Mr. Ron Redhead. You don't care. All these guys are interested in is seeing how fat their pocket can be when they are voted out of office. And that time is coming. Whether they know it or they don't know it, you and I know it. The time is coming when they will be voted out of office. They could change the registration system. They could change what they want. The time is coming when they have to go. They are making sure that they are well secured financially. So who want to sell vans, selling van? Who want to try and claim people land on Sendall Street in Grenville? Yes, you, Ian Django Thomas. People who trying to claim through possessory title, people land in all you are family with Sendall Street in Grenville. Better check because Django trying to claim piece of land through possessory adverse possession. Yeah, he's trying to say that he's been living there for 12 years. He and I think his girlfriend or whoever been living there for 12 years and therefore he is claiming that land via adverse possessory title and so on. Yeah, call me name. Say all you want about me. At the end of the day, nothing I say here any all you could sue on because all you know it's true. Yeah? All you know everything I say is true. Right? So man who want to be advisor to the same minister who don't know what to do in relation to crime. Two advisors. One paid through the ministry and we hearing one paid through Lotto. That's what we're hearing. The other one is paid through the National Lottery Authority. But he claiming one advisor I have. But best you had no advisor, because if you come to us and talking that kind of nonsense, best you didn't have an advisor, because the advisor can advise you if that is stupidness you're talking. Come on. You're saying you're seeing more guns collected because more things have been put in place, but yet still, after you're saying that, you're still saying that we need to get the equipment to scan barrels and scan containers and so on to see if guns are inside there. Then, if you're saying that that hasn't been done yet you're seeing more guns, it means that there are more guns coming in the country. And therefore, now you have to put these things in place to ensure that you can crack down on it. So in the beginning, you're saying you don't think more guns coming in the country. In fact, this is an individual, and you heard him, who was saying that he does not believe that there is more crime taking place in Grenada right now. So they didn't find people in Pond up in St. Andrews. They didn't find people dead in the house up in St. Andrews. They didn't find people dead on the beach down in St. George. People not hanging this. All these kind of things not taking place. Yeah? And that's only if we talk about 2023. Remember, around Christmas last year, you had man was sticking up MoneyGram. Man was going and stick up different places. Gas station was being stuck up. You had other places being stuck up and so on by gunmen. That was taking place last year. And some people don't like to hear us say that because they say the rest of the world listening to us. And when they listen to us now, they're going afraid to come to Grenada. If it's Jamaica they're going to, they ain't afraid to come to Grenada when they hear these one or two things. Because Jamaica have much worse than this taking place. Trinidad and Barbados, all these countries have much worse than what is taking place here. Here is still the safest among all of them to come. And I'm saying that on the back of everything that I say, I always say, Grenada is still the most beautiful, the safest country to come to. But if we do not nip in the bud what is taking place now, we will find ourselves in a very precarious situation in the near future. So when you hear somebody that ought to be out there, instead of jumping plane and going in Toronto to go and wind down in Montreal, not Toronto, Montreal in Canada, to wind down in session with alcohol in hand, instead of posing for pictures with Cuban cigar and mojito, I think it was a mojito, my brother. Yeah. Instead of posing with them kind of thing, instead of you focus on working with the young people of Grenada to ensure that you can help develop them. You're trying to get rid of the Imani program from under your ministry because we know you can handle it and Simmons can handle it. And Django, well, he can't handle nothing. So we know that you all can handle it. So you're trying to shift it from you all onto the NTA, the National Training Agency. Okay, all well and good. The Youth Biz program, where young people there a certain amount of money was put in, a couple million, and young people were given the opportunity now to go through a training process and then apply for that money under that program to be able to start a small business or to expand the small business that they had. Have you heard anything about that between last year and this year? And don't give me anything about you just been there for a year. Because in under a year, we were able to establish that program properly, reformat it, relaunch it, and get many young people involved in the program and try to save some of those that were delinquent under your program. In less than a year, in fact, in less than half a year, in less than 6 months, we were able to engage 3,000 to 4,000 young people under a youth empowerment program. So don't give me the nonsense about it's just a year. And we did this without a national budget in place. We had to put in place a national budget as soon as we came in. You all met a budget in place in 2022. When we came in 2013, we did not even have a national budget. In other words, the NNP government came in without any money allocated to any area. And we had to put that in place quickly. You all didn't have to go through all of that. So don't give the excuse that you've been there for a year. We're aiming a year of the NNP without a budget to a year of you all with a budget, and you have failed miserably. Miserably, you have failed. Total, absolute, unequivocal failure. And then to come and speak this pile of nonsense to the Grenadian people and expect us to just simply sit back and accept that. You, Minister Ron Redhead, you need to go. I don't know. All you holding secret for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is some kind of coward. Deacon, you're afraid them boy. I don't understand what's taking place. Because I can't understand. You ain't shuffling them. You ain't correcting them. You ain't moving them. From what I hear, they even sign the phone when you call. And you're afraid to move them? Come on, man. Something seriously has to take place in this country. Because if we allow the present situation without the input of an important ministry like the Ministry of Youth, who you can now tell from what we've played earlier is totally directionless, guideless. They have no direction. And again, I always like to clarify, I'm not speaking about the staff. I know the staff. I know the people who are working within the ministry. They are more than capable if they are given guidance. But if they are leaderless, if they are directionless, if you don't put protocols in place and you don't put strategies in place, that the youth officers, that the assistant youth officers, that the other workers within the ministry are going to work with, you're going to end up with them just being paid on a monthly basis, and nothing can be shown at the end of that month or the end of 6 months or at the end of a budgetary cycle that says these are achievements on behalf of the ministry. You focus on trying to find all kind of criminal thing on different people within the ministry to say, oh, we jailing this one and we jailing that one and we jailing the other and so on. Why you don't jail yourself? No, seriously, why you don't go and jail yourself? It's not we that went and sell somebody fan without permission. Jail yourself. That is what you have to focus on. About who making jail. One thing I've always learned from my grandmother and my mother, two of them dearly departed. Never wish bad for people. Because somehow it has come back and fall in your own lap. So sit down there and talk about who all you're jailing and so. Sit down there and talk about it and see what's going to happen. I ain't wishing nothing bad on all you. I wish only good for everybody. I don't care who the person is. I wish good for everybody. That's how I've been grown up. But you continue to sit down there and wish bad for this one and that one and see what happens with you. Yeah? So we're now hearing the minister obviously has no idea. We heard the Prime Minister, but I mean, we knew the Prime Minister had no idea. If we didn't call him out on talking points, if we didn't say, yo, you had to say something. You can't just, and still, look, you had 5 murders taking place in St. Vincent in one night recently. There was a spate of murders in St. Vincent around the capital city and so on. In one night. Who came out and spoke? You heard the Prime Minister and you heard the police commissioner speaking on that issue. In Grenada, we had different things taking place. You hear the Prime Minister comes out. He reads something off a laptop because he don't really understand what's going on. So they had to go on Chat GPT and type in something for him. So he went and he read out something on chat. And I showed you all on this program before Chat GPT works, innit? You enter the information and it creates a narrative for you. So you don't have to worry to sit down and write for 2-3 hours. It can do it in less than 5 minutes for you. You have a whole story. 10,000 words, yeah, you're getting that. No time flat. So he came and he sat with a little computer in front of him and he read out something. And at the end of the day, do the businesses in Grenada feel safer? Do people who are doing business in Grenada feel safer now that they've heard the Prime Minister speak? Are people in Grenada, do they feel safer generally in relation to what they're speaking? Listen, when you speak of the Royal Grenada Police Force, again, they have one of the best, in fact, the best conviction rate in the OECS and the Caribbean. In other words, whether the crime is somebody breaking into a place, I remember years ago, a relative of mine, I was house sitting for a relative of mine. I wasn't staying in the place, but I used to go up and open and everything for them. And someone broke into the place and they stole some stuff. Call the police came in. And you know, those men from the CID walk into that building. They look left, they look right, and they could tell you exactly who it is that breaking that place. They say so and so breaking the place, this is how they does operate. and they just do this, they just pull a stock in there, and they just do this and that, and they just break in place and so. And they picked up that individual and found some of the items. They just by looking at the place, to tell you how good the Royal Grenada Police Force is, even without all the scientific this and that, they were able to just look at the crime scene and say, we know who do that. So the Royal Grenada Police Force has very competent people in it. I don't know how much of them go say, because I know a lot leaving, they're taking early retirement, they say they can't take on this stress, they're leaving and they go in and so. But the Royal Grenada Police Force is very competent. I've seen them personally on numerous occasions at work. They have a very good reputation regionally and internationally when it comes to the solving of crime. I know. I've seen today, and it's popular all over social media right now, that Tyler Perry, the guy that does the Medea films and acts as Medea himself and does the Medea films, is offering $100,000 in relation to information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person who murdered Josiah, John T. Robinson, together with Shua, I can't remember, for Yvette Shua, the publicist for Beyonce. So together, they have both come together and they're offering $100,000 for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the murder of Josiah John T. Robinson. Now, understand something. I was kind of concerned, exceptionally concerned today when I saw that post being made by Tyler Perry, because I know that his audience goes into the, not hundreds, not a couple thousand like mine when I post something on Facebook, just under 5,000, because I just remove someone, put in every now and again. His audience is in the region of tens of millions. And he put up something that was negative to the state of Grenada. Then you have local people attacking him because he put it up. No, what you're supposed to be doing is encouraging local people to fess up if they know any information in relation to this issue. Yeah? That if you have information, that you should pass it on to the Royal Grenada Police Force. I ain't names calling. I ain't coming on this program and call him, and nobody don't call here and call names. Because I really don't have the court fee. Don't call and call names, but I ain't names calling. So if you have information, give up the information. 100,000 by 265,000 EC, roughly. 260, over $250,000 EC dollars for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the murder of Josiah John T. Robinson. But here's what. While he may have posted that, that is not just a Grenadian audience. That has gone worldwide. Worldwide. And we have to understand, I mean, somebody give me a figure as to how many people he has on his Instagram and all those things. But that has gone worldwide. So we have to address that issue, because there is one. There is the issue of the image of Grenada internationally by someone who has a lot of influence out there. And what is being done to correct that? Because now the Grenada Tourism Authority has a lot of work to do there to defend the reputation of Grenada. The Royal Grenada Police Force has to show that they are working towards that particular issue. And let me see, I think there's And the thing is that again, how it was put out is like it's a hate crime. I do agree that there is absolutely no information that confirms that what happened was a hate crime. But at the end of the day, you have a mother who has lost a son. You have friends and family who have lost a loved one. And whether hate crime or not hate crime, the person has gone to the great beyond and is now lying in their grave. And as such, their family members, their friends, everybody want an answer to how they ended up in the grave instead of lying with them right now tonight having a drink. So whatever has to take place for them to get to that stage to know who or whom is responsible for what has happened, Well, we see Tyler Perry get involved now. Madea on the case. Right? And next now, we might hear Beyonce on the case too, and Jay-Z and all of them. We might hear all of them on the case too. Right? So it is something that definitely the government of Grenada, the Royal Grenada Police Force, and others need to ensure is handled sensibly. And I've said this to several people this afternoon. They have to ensure that this is handled sensibly and sensitively. Because we know the international community. Grenada is Grenada, but we know the international community. So it has to be handled sensibly and sensitively. But meanwhile, while that is happening, we have a minister there saying, everything good in Grenada? I don't see no rise in crime. Everything good in Grenada, you know. He ain't see no rise in crime. Everything seems to be all well and okay, Minister Ron Redhead. Maybe, I think you're not playing too much. Probably that is why you ain't seeing what's going on in Grenada. Yeah? Anybody that if you're not seeing what's going on in Grenada and you are not aware of all that has been taking place, maybe you need to stay in Grenada a little bit and come off the plane. You understand? Yeah, maybe that needs to take place. Yeah. 4407377 now 3 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
So would someone try and tell me what is happening? Because yet them politicians keep preaching for the poor ones they are fighting, but not such a thing. Because when I make a pass by the shop, I could see.
You know what? I wanna play something for you all. I wanna play a caller on the GBN program earlier from the To The Point program. Yeah, I listen to The Point from time to time. I want to play a lady that called in. No, I wouldn't put up the video this time. I'm going to play a caller that called into the To The Point program to hear what they had to say to the minister. Yeah.
Welcome.
Morning, G10. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing too well, And Mr. Ron, I want to talk to him a bit because he gave me some promises and I never see him again. And the promise he made to me is very, very important. So he come to my home. I show him what I needed and he promised. And up to now, the promise didn't come true. But I thought of the promises I make for another neighbor next by me. She have children, but they need the bathroom and thunder, rain, thunder, lightning, have to come by me to use my, but they don't have it. They really need of the help. She have the lady's number. She come to the office, and up to now, no starting, nothing is happening. They really need help. Children need help. When rain falling, they have to go outside. They don't know what to do, what they have to do. They really need the bathroom and the toilet. They paid promises. The house itself want repairing. My house want repairing. We need help. And Mr. Ron passed right in my yard. I took him inside my home. I showed him the stove I'm cooking on. He said, no, I wouldn't like that nothing to happen to you because you're there a long time. I want to help you to get one. Up to this day, I want family again. I can't help with the stove out to say it like that because you know why? I really think I was an aged person. I just take my 87 years and I do everything on my own. I really need help. Come around and see what we need and give us a helping hand. So if you help in the constituency in the Northeast, Tempe people really need help too. We really badly need help. The whole road in Tempe need help, all the bridge breaking down and no bushes all around the place. It's really looking ugly. Take a run in Tempe, Mr. Ron, and see what we need.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution.
That's 87 years of experience. The caller is 87. Yes, they mentioned it. They're 87 years old. They brought him in the house. They show what needs to be done. Different things like that. They show the neighbor in more need than them. Imagine they have their own issues, but they're talking about the neighbor issues and so on. They say bush on the side of the road in Tempe. Yeah? That's what they're saying. But, I mean, come on. Seriously. They said the minister come, he talked to them before election. After that, can't see him. The only time they see him is when he on one of the photo ops.
Hello.
We have a caller. Hello, good night.
Good night. Ron, don't study, oh God, look, I forgot your name. Tell her, don't study that, them, so we put him there.
You can call me.
And she needs and them.
You can call me Scotty.
Them, let go in the ravine.
No. The thing is that I think people sometimes make decisions. We all
Yes.
in life make decisions that sometimes we are regretful of.
Yes.
So I will hold no one's decision to support a particular party or candidate against them.
Right.
But if they were to make the same mistake again, then I would say to them that you look for it.
Yes,
If you
because
know
look
what
at
is
them when
happening
he
to you
pass,
and you
they
hold
want
it,
to win the next when he pass. If you see them, they think, now they crying, the mouth locked down, they don't say nothing.
Some
Now they
people
get in
too
the
busy
pressure,
selling people
she
van.
calling, what she calling for?
listen, some people too busy selling people van.
Yeah.
That is why they can't come and deal with those issues in the area.
That is
They're
what?
busy selling people van.
If you see the man though, he said passing around in Tempe, nothing. If you see Back Street, if you see Front Street, if you see in the back of Back Street, it's a good thing. Mr. In them they fix the road in the back there, and the one in across
Mr. Olivier.
Eh? And they still take this man and put him there. What they getting now, they have to take it.
Well, you know, in Trinidad, they do say, you get the
Yeah.
government you deserve.
Yeah. Hey.
Don't tell me to cuss your prime minister. Don't tell me
Well, lot
I
of them,
stopped
lot of them.
drinking
Let
bush
it
tea
take it.
for your fever.
Yes. They have to put it in the pipe and smoke it.
All right, by there.
I will give them some lemongrass to make some tea to drink. Okay, good night.
All right,
I'm
bye there.
seeing you here.
Don't tell me to jam your prime minister. No, don't tell me I stopped drinking bush tea for your fever. No, don't tell me, cause you don't vote them once, but you did it twice. Election gone is you vote Barabbas in front of Christ. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Shalan.
How are you, my dear?
I'm fine.
All right.
They had a working government and a government that was giving them road. The government was for infrastructure. They didn't want him. They wanted a young prime minister. They say he's old. He's an old man. So let it take it in a pipe and smoke it. They're balling with their mouth shut. They don't ball yet.
But I do feel it because the thing is,
yet.
they are not
let
the only.
Take it.
But you see, my problem
Okay,
is.
thank you.
Hold on, eh? But you see, they're not the only ones feeling it. We getting it too. Yeah, if it was them alone, was one thing. But all of us, every one of us, Tutmun Bagay, all are we feeling it as well. All of us are suffering the consequences of the actions of some. Yeah? So when they complain now and they say, well, Mr. Minister, we don't see you. Where you did it? Where you there? We don't see you. You passed before election and now we don't see you. Mr. Minister, what going on with you? I mean, yes, they have to take blame. Yes, I understand that. But I also understand that we all, every human, there's not a human being that has not made mistakes before in life. And I understand. Yeah? I have empathy. I have sympathy. I have understanding. Yeah? In relation to their situation. We have a call online. Good night.
Shalan,
Yes, ma'am.
some have to dead for some to survive. All of us feeling it. If it's so we have to learn, we will learn. And NDC have a history. So let it take the pressure. All of us feeling it. Okay.
All right, my dear. 4407377. That is the number for you to call and get on to the inside. You know, I also listened to the minister speaking on the issue of the Queen show. And you know what? While I have the clip with what he said, I'm going to hold back on it. You know why? I think I'm going to allow the opportunity for Miss Jenny Simon, Miss Sherma Wells et al. To respond to the minister as not being one of the persons being directly attacked and people saying they lied. Well, not people. Ron Redhead is saying that these individuals are lying and that their only intention was to disrupt the Queen show and disrupt the Queens. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to, because I know that Miss Jenny Simon, you see Jenny Simon? I know she's more than capable. I know she's more than competent. I don't have to talk and defend Jenny. I know Jenny could talk and defend herself. I know she usually has her program on a Thursday. I do not know if she'll be dealing or delving into that matter tomorrow, or if she'll do that next week, since it's this week that the minister speaks, that she'll put her stuff together and deal with it next week. I am not sure. But what I can say is this. I know she go respond. Yeah? Because I listened to the minister. And as I said, I want to go into what he said. I'm going to leave that one, and I'm going to encourage all of you to tune into Simon Says whenever it's on and listen to Miss Jenny Simon's response to that particular issue, because we know we have a minister who is accustomed to lying right now. Because here's what, the same Ron Redhead, they like to talk about people and all kind of thing. The same Ron Redhead, when the issue was raised by the journalist in the press conference of him dealing with contracts from the parliamentary office, the Prime Minister of this country, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, said that he would get back to us. He will revert, he would speak to them, get back the information and get back to the media. To this day, the 26th of July 2023, the media ain't nothing back from Deacon Mitchell in relation to that issue. Nothing. Yeah? Not a word, not a line, not a letter, not a 50-cent stamp. Nothing back from them in relation to that issue of contracts being awarded through parliamentary constituency offices. Nothing. There's a whole conversation that was taking place between Mandela Links and Ron Redhead. We don't see nothing being said in relation to, we've investigated the matter and this is so and so. We ain't hear nothing. We ain't hear nothing. Yeah? All kind of thing all they're talking about. We ain't hear nothing about that. Came back. We hear that he sell the Mount Pure Woman van. Ron Redhead. We hear he sell she van without she permission. That is what we hear. That's the allegation. We saw documents where he went with money to pay, and the same Ian Django Thomas, who trying to seize the land in Sendall Street in Grenville through possessory title now, who also going after the street cleaning contract for the town of Grenville, who also have security contract for various places in St. Andrew and St. Patrick and so on, who is also an advisor to Ron Redhead. We had the same Ian Django Thomas was signatory. We saw his signature on the document that was put out by Ms. Jenny Simon, and she gave a background in relation to the issue because she was involved. When the van sell, she knew of what took place. Yeah? Then we saw an article in the newspaper that said that a joint statement would come out. I don't know if the joint end up a roach. Those of you that smoke know what I'm talking about. We don't know if the joint end up a roach. We don't know if the joint couldn't light. It was too wet. We don't know nothing. At the end of the day, months later, no joint statement, no statement, nothing in relation to that particular issue. Yeah? So when it comes to that individual, and it comes to the thing called lying, I quicker believe Miss Jenny Simon, Shirma Wells, and so on, any day, before I believe a word that individual says. We heard from the lady. All I want to hear from the lady, no, we play it again. Let me play it again. All you feel happy to play it again. I'm playing it again.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing too well, And Mr. Ron, I want to talk to him a bit because he gave me some promises and I'll never see him again. And the promise he made to me is very, very important. So he come to my home. I show him what I needed and he promised. And up to now, the promise didn't come true. But I thought another promise that I make for another neighbor next by me. She have children, but they need the bathroom and turn rain, thunder, lightning, have to come by me to use my, but they don't have it. They really need of the help. She have the lady's number. She come to in the office, and up to now, no starting, nothing is happening. They really need help. Children need help. When rain falling, they have to go outside. They don't know what to do, what they have to do. They really need the bathroom and the toilet. They paid promises. The house itself want repairing. My house want repairing. We need help. And Mr. Ron passed right in my yard. I took him inside my home. I showed him the stove I'm cooking on. He said, no, I wouldn't like that nothing to happen to you because you've been there a long time. I want to help you to get one. Up to this day, I want from him again. I can't hell with the stove out to say it like that because you know why? I really think I was an aged person. I just take my 87 years and I do everything on my own. I really need help. Come around and see what we need and give us a helping hand. So if you're helping the constituency in the Northeast, Tempe people really need help too. We really badly need help. The whole road in Tempe need help, all the bridge breaking down and no bushes all around the place. It's really looking ugly. Take a run in Tempe, Mr. Ron, and see what we need.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yes, so we... I mean, no, that's the constituents are talking there. That is not me. I don't live in the Northeast. But that's the constituents of the Northeast talking there. I think we have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing tonight?
Good.
You go right ahead, your life.
I called you the other night concerning the NIS pension. You had any feedback on that?
I didn't get any information back in relation to that one. What most persons were saying, though.
All right. Now, what they're saying is crap. What happened, the NIS put out a release today. It's on Facebook.
Oh.
And here the lie. They're saying that they sent out the NIS payments to the different commercial banks.
Mm-hmm.
And that they understand that many people haven't received their payments. So they're going to get to the bank and try to rectify it and whatnot. But what happens, Sheldon, with the payment? Every bank, okay, like my payment, it goes to my bank. You don't go to no other bank and that is sent to no other bank. Because I went back to Cooperative Bank today and they tell me it's a lot of people and they didn't get any checks. But check the Facebook because NIS put out a release. So in reality, they know what they're trying to do is to blame the bank, but the bank never got anything. Because I met somebody who got their payment in Republic, and Republic was on strike.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their payment on Thursday. So something is not right. Keep an eye on that. Something is not right with NIS. So far, a lot of people haven't received their payments. And they put out, if you look and check Facebook, you'll see the release that they put out, trying to blame the banks.
Well, I'm checking now to see if I can find the statement itself to see what they're saying. Because I remember you did call and you did mention that particular issue. I know I was hearing from various people in relation to it. I myself was not...
It doesn't go from one bank to the other bank.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, when you're going, you say what bank you want your check to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, like John Phillip, check is to go to Scotia Bank. You don't go to Republic and then go to Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
Every bank with every pensioner goes to that bank. And it's been happening for years. And the bank said they haven't received anything from NIS. But some people got it, but a lot of people didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not hearing you talk about that. If you check NIS thing and the Facebook thing, you'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see the release he was put
I'm
out.
seeing it. I'm seeing it now, yeah. I'm seeing it now. It says and let me just pull it up here so that the listeners and the viewers can see it themselves. It says, important notice, July pension payment. Dear valued customers, the National Insurance Scheme hereby advises that pension payments were made on July 20th. So that's 6 days ago, roughly a week by tomorrow, 2023, to the respective commercial banks as usual. However, we are aware that some customers are experiencing delays in receiving their pensions. The NS is working with the commercial banks to resolve this situation. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. Now, the thing is, there was no strike at the cooperative bank.
No.
So
when
what?
the strike goes, people receive their payment. So I asked the lady at the desk, I said, me alone? She said, no, it's a lot of people, and they haven't received anything from NIS. So they're trying in a smart way to blame it on the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But they're having problems in NIS. And I tell you, keep your eye on that.
Well,
right.
my friend, we will have to keep a very close, because if you gain problems with it, and I still have 20-something years to wait before I get mine.
Yeah. A guy said that today too.
Yeah,
His problem.
I had to be concerned. All of us have to be concerned.
Have to be concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I said. Let me call to because I didn't hear you talk about this. You didn't see the release.
No, I hadn't seen it. I thank you so very much for making not just me, but all of us aware that this is out there.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, take care. Have a good night.
I thank you so very much. All right, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, because I was totally unaware that that release had came out, and that's why I always say to you, listeners and viewers, whenever you see anything, send. Even though you think I know and I see it already, don't consider I know. Send it for me still. Call me still. You all know my number. You all know the WhatsApp, and so send it. Call me different things. Yeah, don't assume that I know, because I had no idea of that. We have a call online. Good night.
Yes, good evening, Brother Sheldon.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, just lying low,
Now don't lie low, man. You have to sit up.
Yeah, well, right. Well, let me sit up. Yeah, Brother Sheldon, good night, Grenada, sorry. Yeah, I've been taking note of some things that is happening, that has happened in our country, and so forth. And what I realize is that, I welcome I heard last night you said is Bishop now, Devon Riche, call out for the prayer tomorrow. Yeah. But the honest truth is, brother, yes, we need prayer, and I hope the Christians are praying on a daily basis and pray very often too, because Grenada is in a mess, and we are going deeper, and we're going further into the desert. Now, I think there should be a call for the so-called pastors, right? There are some pastors in our nation. I respect the pastors, because I'm a pastor too, and I respect the pastor's vision or, the conviction or whatever. But I could remember, and I was just lying back here thinking about the election of 2008. I remember I got a ride with one pastor, and he said, "Pastor, I'm not seeing you to our meetings." I said, "What meetings?" And then he said, "Well, we having a lot of prayer meetings and so forth, because we want to take Grenada forward, And I said, "No, I'm not a part of the CCC, the Conference of Churches." I say, "I've never been a part of that, and I don't want to be a part of it." And the reason for that is because the way that they have treated our Grenadian people, especially when they're trying to push down the throat of the people, right? Their conviction, that is the pastor's conviction. If you're convicted on a particular issue, well, okay, other persons also have the choices. I have never preached. The only time I preach somewhat political messages, either before or after elections, the independent message, encouraging our folks to respect authority, do all that they could do to advance our nation, and so forth and so on. And what I realize is that these pastors, some of our pastors in Grenada, there was one that said that they would never pray for Dr. Mitchell. They'd never pray for him. Next thing, after we won the election, I see that pastor come on board, full force, got involved and so forth, and interview Dr. Mitchell, and these are grasshopper pastors jumping from party to party because of the opportunities that they could have. Now, 2022, right? The election of 2022, when they called in a so-called pastor from one of the neighboring island, which he said that he cast out 1 million demons from Grenadians. I would to God that these pastors have some respect for the very God that they say that they worship and praise, and be more, proactive, and stop playing the religious game, and let Almighty God, the Almighty Supreme Being, recognize that, yes, that these persons that call themselves pastors are really true people. So I think that there should be a call, and I'm calling them out. I'm calling all these pastors to come forward and apologize to Dr. Mitchell the NNP and the people of Grenada for pushing them into making the wrong choice and decision. That's me. I'm calling on them. Right? Pastor Riche is calling for prayer. I'm calling on these pastors to repent. I'm calling on them to turn around and stop the hypocrisy. The names are calling in so much mix up, so much different. Why? Why? It's because they're seeking opportunities. Because they want to get rich. I'm not afraid to say that. They had sent a few of us home, right, just after the election. And I'm looking at these pastors today, having big contracts. You know, everything about them is big now. They couldn't get it on the NNP because Dr. Mitchell was the no-nonsense person, and not because you support the party that you're going to get what you want. You know? When I heard Miss Jenny Simon made a statement about Dr. Mitchell, right? I am further convicted in my heart that this gentleman and the party, the NNP, was really on the right trajectory in bringing people, empowering people. I hear Mr. Ron Redhead talking a pile of crap. You know, he knows nothing about what is going on. Look, the former ministers, they're not in government, but look at the big program that they had for the young people in the different constituency, different zones. Dr. Pancho, as psychologist, went in there and did what he did. The pastor, that is the pastor. That is a pastor. You know, my brother, I'm calling them out. I'm calling out these pastors. They know, and I hope they are listening, to come make a state apology. You see, just as the lawyer had to make the state apology in time when he was trying to bring down NNP, we are calling on them to come around and make an apology, and are calling on them to repent and turn to the right God, the God Jehovah. Turn to him. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Pastor. And you have a wonderful night tonight.
Same to you, sir.
All right. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. And remember, yeah, Pastor Devon Roche, he is having that session tomorrow evening. It starts at 4:30 in front of the Esplanade Mall. So it is Let Us Pray for Grenada. And it says, calling all kingdom citizens, join us this Thursday, that's tomorrow, July 27th at 4:30 p.m. in front of the Esplanade Mall for 2 hours of prayer for our nation. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty. So it's Bishop Devon Roche, Bishop Devon Roche, and he will be leading that tomorrow. I believe other entities will be involved in it tomorrow. So that's taking place tomorrow in front of the Esplanade Mall from 4:30 p.m. You know, I just have to be getting ready to get in here by that time. So unfortunately, I will not be able to be there myself, but you all go represent me. Yeah, Velma, you have to go and represent me, you know. Velma, you have to go and represent me, girl. You, Manda, all you have to go and represent me while you feel. And folks, remember, the On Point Foundation, they have the back to school drive to assist schools in Grenada. So those of you who are out there in the US, you can assist. All right. So you can call Kathy on 347-262-6818 and Patricia at 917-626-6858, or you can email them on onpointfoundationinc@gmail.com. Let me give you that email again, onpointfoundationinc@gmail.com. And I want somebody from St. Patrick, let me see, St. Patrick West. Send me a message. I know you all are cruise on Friday. All you don't reminding me about the cruise. Yeah, there's cruise for St. Patrick West on Friday. All you have to call all and remind him. We've got a call online. Good night.
Hello, Sheldon. Good night.
Hi, good night, caller. How are you?
Not bad at all. Sheldon, there is two things I just want to briefly mention.
You sure you want three?
Well, maybe if I get a privilege to.
Go right ahead, man.
Yeah. Sheldon, I heard the issue about NIS and the long standing problem with payments and what they're paying out and what they're collecting and all kind of problems that they are facing.
Mm-hmm.
No, Sheldon, let me give the people a little bit of insight. And I will say it one way. There is a minister in government who knows the facts. What's happening to the NIS when they're paying out more than what they're collecting, the revenue that they generate and so forth. When you're paying out more and you're not collecting what you're paying out per month, you're in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what is a contributing factor to that issue. One, you had the debushing program. Some places used to have 50 gangs out. Every individual that worked there under the age of 60 was paying NIS. You had the bathroom and toilet program. Every individual under the age of 60 was paying NIS. You had the house repair program. Every individual under the age of 60 was paying NIS. But you shut down all those programs. And I could go on. You had the people who was sanitizing in the school and every other areas in the public service. They was paying NIS. They was getting a stipend, a salary, and they was paying NIS out of it. But when you close down all these programs, when you send all these people home, you want to pay out 40 million, but you could only collect 34 million. It shows that one way that you are not managing. So you are responsible for bailing out the NIS. Because you fire people, NIS, people cannot get sick leave and medication from NIS now, they're in trouble. Because they cannot send in a claim for anything. Because NIS don't have or don't collect in the kind of revenue that these ones has to pay out. So that is one of the contributing factor why NIS is not collecting monies that people has to receive, and they will be always in debt. So I am asking the government, I am asking all of them. There is an economist inside it, Mr. Andrews. He knows that. Anytime a government is paying out more than the generating, that is bad economic business for a country. That means the country is in bad shape. So they have to create avenues to generate income, not by the few people that is in the public sector and the private sector that is working daily and getting a money, to impose heavier fees on them is to create a broader base structure so that more people could be employed. And therefore, NIS will collect more monies. That is the only solution for the NIS right now. And the benefits for people. Otherwise, raising the age to 65 wouldn't help a lot of us. And
Go ahead,
now, the ages now, people are worried if they're going to make those ages in their life, because things are getting cocoonious, things are getting bad. Economy of Grenada is bad, and some people taking praises for a well-rounded economy that the IMF and World Bank has prepared the documents over the last 10 years, and some people is taking credit for that. Oh yes, we're doing well. How can unemployment skyrocketing in a country and our economy is doing well? No way. I am afraid to say it. Haiti, I don't want to say it sooner, but Haiti, Grenada could follow similar pattern like Haiti, unless something drastically happen, that we have to change that economy policy of this government and recreate a new policy, because the CBI program wouldn't be able to help us sooner or later.
All right.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. It's 9:38 right now. And you see, again, one of the things I keep saying about the NIS, you have to do things as though you have to expand your population, and therefore you have more people who are working or at least available for work. And I haven't seen measures by this government or any government to encourage that sort of thing. What you want to see is that things are being put in place to encourage families, to encourage people to procreate. Because we are 100,000. That's what we averagely say that are here in Grenada. I'm not too sure that we actually have that amount at any point in time, because we have so many Grenadians who are overseas, regionally. You go down to Trinidad and you're passing in Port of Spain, and I know in my instance, if I go to Trinidad and I'm passing in Port of Spain, all of a sudden, no matter which street I'm on, I hear somebody shout, "Hey, Shalan!" And when it's not a Trinidadian, it's a Grenadian. Yeah, I've seen it happen. I went to St. Lucia. I was in a particular area up in Groselet in St. Lucia, and while there, I saw some guys walk up. They say, "Hey, now, Shalan, what are you doing up here?" And it was a whole crew of Grenadians that were there. And everywhere that I go, it seems that you bounce up the same thing. I tend to think we probably have more Grenadians living outside of Grenada than we probably have in Grenada. But we have to do things to expand our workforce in Grenada, right? So that we have more money going into the NIS, and expand it to the point that we have enough money going into the NIS so that they can make whatever monthly payments they have to make, be it pensions or other benefits, and so that they can make that on a monthly basis without having to dip into their reserves. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Shalom. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
You're live. Go right ahead.
Yes. Regarding the NS, we see what's the where it is going, and not just the NIS, but there are other government institutions like the Lotto and other, yeah? The government, at a time when they have the shortfall, they go get the money from them. How long? At the end of the day, they are government institutions, right? But they have to create other avenues, yeah? Because if you have institutions, those institutions must be lead to a profit organization. Not, anytime fall short, they run, get the money, and then you keep dragging. And then now you're hearing that they will be bankrupt by such and such time. Now, whether it is true or not, God. Anyhow, the fact of the matter is that we have to create some form of other avenues to create jobs where we could generate more income. So we can, the economy had a spin. Right now, the economy is on a down slope in Grenada. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you're seeing the backfiring of the CDI program. And I think for now, I will encourage people, all the CARICOM should put a hold on this. Because now if the you decide to put a visa, now you have to fly all the way back, I guess, to Barbados to get visa from Grenada, right? There's more cost involved. I mean, we're trying to generate income by selling passport or whatnot. But here, there's another danger approaching us. So which one of the two is, we should see the benefit of our people as well. Put a hold, see what other way, or if changes could be made in selling the passport, instead of the UK government trying to implement the visa on us. See where there is a wrong, and try to correct that wrong. Yeah, because it's not right now everything coming back to the average Grenadian person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where you're coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back to the average Grenadian person. So it's cost. Everything is just cost. Now, at the end of the day, as you say, it's just 100,000 people. The income's basically more or less the same. Yeah. So how do you then expect the middle and the poor class people to help themselves? Yeah, I mean, will there be any way of that people will be getting raised in salary to what which increase or whatnot. I mean, it's not just looking good for economy. Find other ways that we could generate our economy. Yeah, once you see something is going wrong, or you're seeing something hiccup, take a pause, try to correct the right, and go ahead in life. Because what we see again, I'm saying that UK thing is going to be the future, and that ain't looking good for the Caribbean as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's only Grenada selling passport. The other islands who selling passport. So I think they should revisit all those things and try to clear it. Or probably have a meeting with the Prime Minister of England and say, listen, what we can do to satisfy you, in such a way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much, caller, for your input.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside, the inside of tonight's program. And I'm just sending out a message on behalf of the people of Beirut. Yeah, Beirut. So they're saying at the Beirut Junction, Mr. Prime Minister, that's your constituency. They say, please, cut the bushes on the corner still, because someone, the mirror, the junction, let me see. Just reminding the relevant authority about the mirror at Beirut Junction. Please, the bushes cut, but the corner still dangerous, right? So the bushes in Beirut Junction, they cut it. But the mirror, right, they still have a problem because they need the mirror there, right, to be able to see what's coming up. And I know Beirut Junction, and indeed it is kind of dangerous going down and coming out from there without a mirror. So, Mr. Prime Minister, you made sure that at Cinnamon Hill, you got a mirror for when your vehicles are coming down and when they're going up. Am I wrong or am I right? And I can tell you that you got those mirrors within the last 30 days. Yeah, so you got your mirrors at Cinnamon Hill within the last 30 days. There are not much residents living where you are. It's, basically you, living where you are. But you ensured that you got a mirror for that location. There are literally hundreds of people living down in Beirut and others that utilize that area, whether they're having activities on the Beirut pasture and different, right, down there, right. So, please, they need a mirror. They're asking kindly. And me, as the true parliamentary representative for St. David at this point in time, I am requesting of you, as the Minister of Works, that you put the mirror for the people in Beirut Junction. All right? Thank you so very much. I expect to see it before Carnival. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
Hey, how are you doing?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm quite fine. Go right ahead.
I'm a very good listener of your program. I always listen to the program, but this is the first time I'm calling.
Okay, thank you.
I had a chat with somebody from NIS today.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are saying is that they deal with Republic. And Republic is responsible for distributing money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of puzzling now when I listen to certain things. Because they say there was a backlog and such because of the late payments. What they have saying is that they send them on, they're dealing with only Republic. And Republic is the one responsible.
So the primary bank is Republic Bank. Because I've got several messages here from people saying that that's the messages they've been getting from them. That they're blaming Republic Bank basically for what is taking place.
Well, practically what they're saying is, because I had the chat, because they're saying like, if they're sending money to Republic, we know Republic had a little strike issue.
Yeah.
But Republic is responsible for distributing, but because like some people get, some ain't get.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was supposed to collect some pension money from somebody in Corp Bank and nothing like that, but people in that getting from credit union, they are already getting money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what is the problem there.
Well, I think it's important for NIS to come out with a broader statement simply than what they have put out. They may need to actually come out and say a lot more because, in fact, saying the thing is one thing, but coming and tell a person the reason you can't pay them. Yeah, find a way of speeding up the process to ensure that people receive their money, because there are many people who expected their money last week. Now we're speaking a week from when they expected it, and it's not paid.
Based on how things are running, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, well, I getting scared now because I have my money in NIS too, you know.
It's scary because
I've already passed the amount of payments to qualify for a pension. I check on these things. I qualify for a pension from the NIS already. And it is worrying to people like myself that we're hearing these things now.
Yeah, because I listen to all the chats and things, and it's scary because it's worrying. Must be worrying because something just not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I hope for the benefit of the people is that they really have a backlog in truth. Otherwise, is another cry for concern again.
Remember, in the last week or two, we have been hearing from Minister Telesford in relation to the NIS. We have been hearing from other ministers speaking in relation to the state of affairs with the NIS. And so again, it's frightening, brother. It's frightening.
It is.
It's frightening. That's the only pension, for instance, people like myself, that's the only pension we have, you know.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing else there.
There's nothing else. That's the only insurance we have.
Yeah.
You know, and it's thing because, a lot of people depend on that money. And it's like, I don't find what the answers are convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Just not. And if you send money since last week Thursday, that's what they said,
yeah?
And today tomorrow is Thursday.
A week.
You understand? So it's kind of, and it doesn't take long to do any transaction in the bank anymore.
But my friend, for instance, a Riser Credit Union, if you send a payment into them, it's credited to the person's account nearly instantaneously.
That's what I know that because I get paid through the bank.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the benefit of, those for the people and things, I just hope that it's really the backlog on a right era. You know? Or else we're in for a serious problem.
Yeah, I agree with you, my caller.
Anyway, I do enjoy the program and continue the works, man.
Hi, thank you so very much.
All right.
440-7377. Yeah, and I agree the caller. it is a serious cause for concern because it is a cause of concern for people like myself. And I just want to clarify something because in speaking with a good friend of mine yesterday, they were making something clear to me. When government went to Parliament and they changed the retirement age, I think we all need to understand that that applies only to the NIS. Let me say that again. That the change in the retirement age only applies to the National Insurance Scheme. So, a public worker who is supposed to retire at the age of 60 does not now have to retire at the age of 65. They still retire at the age of 60. They will have the opportunity to cash in from the NIS in relation to their pension at a reduced rate or wait until they're 65 and cash in fully. We have a caller online. Good evening.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. Go right ahead. You're live. I'm quite fine, actually. You go right ahead.
Well, I just was calling because I'm listening in connection with NIS payment. I usually get NIS payment, and I got my NIS payment since last week already. So,
because I'm hearing it's not across the board, though. I'm hearing that some folks got theirs, and that there are others that are having this problem. So I did hear exactly what you're saying, that some people got last week, and that there's some who still haven't gotten up to this point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you did call as one of the people that got yours. Yeah, because it's important to let people know that some people did get theirs. So there is a problem in the system if some got and some didn't get.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very thankful for you for calling and clarifying that.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking which financial institution yours usually comes through?
It's Republic Bank.
Well, and that's the bank that have the problem, so I'm trying to understand this thing.
Yeah.
Well, had the problem.
I usually get, and from my own firm, I usually go there, and I had no problem since I started up to this time. No problem at all.
This is very interesting. So I think they need to clear the air on this to allow the persons who are having this problem to ease at least the concern that many folks who are going through the situation of not having received theirs, when they are accustomed receiving it, they need to clear the air on it.
Okay.
All right, I thank you so very much, caller.
You're most welcome.
All right.
And all the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and I think that's important to note as well, that the situation is not all people who are receiving their pensions, because I have received numerous messages from individuals who have received theirs, but I've also received many messages from people who have not received theirs. So there is some problem within the system that needs to be addressed. Is it at the bank? Is it at the financial institution? Wherever it is, I think NIS call Shaggy in the morning and clear it up. Yeah. Yeah, only go call here. They go want to rough only call by me. So call Shaggy in the morning and try and clear it up there. All right? Nice. Yeah. Call Shaggy. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hi, how are you?
I just want to support the pastor who spoke about the prayer and all what needs to be done. Because the word of God also tells us that if we regard iniquity in our heart, he would not hear from us. So confession and repentance is necessary for God to hear us. And that thank that pastor so much that we are on the right path. What they are starting to do, them and Pastor Rocher, God is in control and he will see us through. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, caller. Yes, indeed. And 440-7377. We have roughly 5 minutes remaining on tonight's program. And yeah, so I am seeing, I just got another message from a listener of mine that they received theirs and it was through Republic Bank. We do know that there was industrial action taking place. I think the workers have emerged victorious from that scenario with their fringe benefits, their pay increases and so on. So we'd like to congratulate them. But at the same token, while some people were having their different issues with Republic Bank, it seems as though in at least 2 cases, because another person who messaged me here said their NIS pension comes through Republic Bank. So there is an issue. There is some sort of issue. What that issue is, we are not clear. But there is an issue. And therefore, they need to clear the air. Call Shaggy in the morning. It's the most listened program in Grenada. Call him in the morning. Yeah? Call Miss Desiree Abreu and them and organize and go on Shaggy in the morning or one of these mornings and explain what is taking place to the pensioners. Explain to them it will not happen again, or there is the possibility of it happening again, or so on. But at least speak to us. Say something. Because people like me can again worry. But I was telling you all earlier as well that I was speaking to a friend of mine and they were telling me that when it comes to the increase of the pensionable age from 60 to 65, that applies only to the National Insurance Scheme. So workers within the public service that usually retire at 60 can still and will still be retired at the age of 60. People in the public sector as well who ought to retire at the age of 60, you have the option to retire at 60 or to go until you're 65. You will have that, it's optionable. So you have that option. Yeah? So you can still retire. Just want to clarify. So you can retire at the age of 60 and receive your benefit, but it will be a reduced benefit till you get to the age of 65 when you will receive your full benefit. Let me say that again for those who may not understand what I've just said. You will still be able to retire at the age of 60. You will receive a benefit, but it will be a reduced benefit until you get to the age of 65 when you will receive your full benefit. All right? So I'm just letting you all know, so that applies. So if you're in the public service now and you're thinking, well, I'd plan to, because I was thinking along that lines, that, well, I plan to retire at the age of 60 and now I have to stay 5 years more. It is not definitely the case when it comes to the NIS. And for those of you that qualify, work within the government service, and you qualify for the government pension, this has no effect on you. Yeah, except that, because remember, you have people that are working with the government of Grenada in the government service that will be receiving 2 pensions. And that is one of the things that the court case, and you're hearing the ministers and so saying that they have to regularize the issue of you receiving 2 pensions. Because somebody that retires from the public service now and qualifies, having made their 24 or whatever, how many years, they are going to receive their government pension, which is non-contributory. They're not paying anything into the pension scheme that the government has. The government has no pension scheme there that they're paying into, but they're paying into the NIS. So they would be receiving their NIS and they will be receiving their government pension. So they're receiving 2 pensions effectively. Yeah? You're receiving an NIS pension and a government pension. All of this is what they've been saying needs to be reformed and needs to be looked at and so on. But just to let people know that no, you will not necessarily have to wait until you're 65. If you're in the government service, you retired at 60. If you're in the private sector or so, you have the option now, because the NIS is your pension, to retire at 60. You're getting a pension payment once you've qualified, you've made the number of contributory weeks and so on. You would take your a reduced pension, or you wait until you're 65, you work until you're 65, you wait until then, and you receive your full pension. All right, so I just thought it's important that I explain that. Folks, was going to play something else and put up something else, but I think I'll leave that one for tomorrow night. As I always say, miss them, don't pass them. So tomorrow night, yeah, Minister Lacrette, we have to have a conversation tomorrow night, bro. Yeah, only mustn't lie like that. Right? So, folks, we had to talk to Minister Lacrette tomorrow night. Yeah, we had to talk to Minister Lacrette tomorrow night. We definitely have to have a conversation with the Honorable Minister in relation to some of his statements and some of the statements of his fellow ministers tomorrow night. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It has been wonderful being here with you. My name's Sheldon Scott, and of course, I always enjoy being here to interact and speak with you and to hear from you. All right? And of course, we'd like to thank all of the callers who called tonight's program, all of you who have contributed in whichever way to ensuring that tonight's program has been a success. And again, in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. I am out of here.
A Grenadian man up in Miami, pick up the phone and telephone me, oh God. Small axe, I know you could comprehend. My PM, I want you help me defend. Imagine the man just got in power. He says he's Grenada biggest liar. Said the man is an attorney of law. Yes, the man is a big liar. But in case you still want a clue, he wanna go big case against workers for SGU. The man is a liar. Said by the stroke of the pen, every contract shall end and everyone shall meet permanent. The man is a liar. He increased his salary, decreasing money, which he said should be $650. That man is a liar. To get the nurses to hush, he top up the post with $500 every month. That man is a liar. Yes, a real big liar. That man is a professional liar. Telling you deep in that conversation, he said he not speaking about profession, oh God.